Good evening. How are y'all doing tonight? I need to make a lurker icon emote or see about making a lurker emote specifically for Sushi. Because she always gets here so quick and she's looking in chat. Oh my god, speaking of icons, every freaking time. Hold on. Before we start, I have to send Lissa a message. Message. There. A little sleepy, not sure what to do with myself. Oh, that's alright. You can chill with me while we play some games and I talk about some stuff. It's like, if I sleep now, I'm gonna wake up so many times before work. Oh, big mood. Do you have, like, coffee or something you can have? Oh? Yeah, like I don't know. I have coffee. I have cappuccino. Hell yeah, my dude. Yeah, drink that. See if that helps wake you up. Wait. Oh my god, I can hear the scratchiness in my throat. I can hear it. Speaking of coffee, hold on. And I bought creamer for it. Hell yeah, my dude. Before stream, I brushed my teeth. Like, really good. And we have, like, a Listerine Total Act mouthwash. And so I went that. And like, it's the kind of Listerine mouthwash that, like, numbs your mouth. Like, there's a stinging sensation in your mouth. And so, you swish it around your mouth for like a minute, and then you spit it out, and then come here, Callie. We have been given a Callie. And then it tells you not to eat or drink anything for like 30 minutes. And so I was like, okay, well, let me do this. And then by the time those 30 minutes are up, I'll be able to get my coffee and start streaming. And so I took care of my teeth really good. I felt the burn, and I'm immediately destroying that effect by drinking coffee. Have I been sick? Maybe. Because, like, the past couple of days, since, like, what's today? Today, Sunday? I'd say somewhere around Thursday, I started just feeling awful. Like, I didn't have the sniffles or anything, but like I feel bad. Yeah. No, like I feel wretched, but like without any other symptoms. And so that could be any number of things between mental health and stress. But like just super sleepy, tired, I ache randomly, which I'm used to, but it's like fuck man. um so this is after we beat Resident Evil 2 that one time when I first started playing Oxygen Not Included for everybody. This is that map, and I'm trying to remember what the fuck we were doing. Hold on, what has power? Okay. Pause them again. And I know two of you, yeah, this is Sack. He's a little engineer boy. Or is he a diggy boy? Hold on. No, he's a diggy boy. My bad. He's just building something right now. Gossman! And you're here too. Oh, you're Layra, right? Until I find Pay. Yeah. With the pink unitard, whatever it is. If we get Pay, yes. You would like to be Pay. Understood. I'll keep an eye out for Pay. Oh, wait, hold on. We have Principal. Do we have the Pay? We do not have the Pay. Okay, hold on. But who do we have? Doctoring, decorating. Tryptophobia. Cannot dig. Thank you. I love Pay so much. She's cute. They're cute. I don't know what their thing is, but it's fine. They're cute. She's cute. Tryptophobia. Cannot dig. These can be some of the worst ones to grab. Critter aversion. What do I need? Actually, let's back up a little bit and see what we need. Okay, so we go down the line. We have a digger. We have a builder. Oh, we have a builder and a digger. We have a farmer. Let's see. What's next? What's next? Oh, we have 2 in this. Oh, Ruby is going to be our courier. Okay. We have a researcher, and we have Sushi being our tidier, being the backbone of our entire establishment. I think I'll play only 2, so we're playing together. Yeah, it'll be fun. Oh, but then go get Cappuccino. Cappuccino away. I will try to figure out who we need next. So who do we need next? So we have all the core, or what I consider the core dudes. So doctoring, art and cooking, and ranching. Okay. Would be, oh god, not that. Not like this. Oh goodness. Okay, here we go. Okay, so farming, researching, building, doctoring, suit wearing, doctoring, decorating for. What is this though? You. Reject all. Actually, don't reject all, take the sand. Okay, hold on. Okay. I don't have research going. Do I need to have research going? Where are we on research? Enough to be here, and deodorizers. So let us do some sound amplifiers next. Okay. And that all seems to be taken care of. They're building the insulation walls, which is nice. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have some announcements to make, but I'm trying to wait for a little bit before I make them. They're good announcements, though. I still feel the scratchiness in my throat. I'm gonna drink more coffee. I'm gonna have to turn one of these areas into a stable. Maybe do it. Oh god, not that. Maybe bring the stable up a little? Because I normally. But these will be moved eventually. So yeah, let's actually make the stable here. Thanks for digging that out. Hold on. Oh, not like that. We can't dig it out. Jesus, what was that? Here we go. But it's going to be a solid room, so we can go ahead and do this. Hold on, go ahead and do. I can't click on things. My hands are fakey, which is never a good sign. When we actually get to the, like right now, just kind of doing stuff right now, but when we get to the actual, where I start talking about stuff, I will slow them down so that I don't crash the colony by not paying attention. Oh, that's right. I messed up because I didn't make this bigger, which means I'm going to have these small rooms, which is not good. They're not going to be rooms. It's like you always try to make, like when I do it, because this is the base, and this starts off being 8. And so I always add 1 here and 1 here to make it 10. So that way, if you need to close them off, they're tiny rooms, but they're still big enough for various things. We also need to add some airflow tiles to remove the gross, icky, polluted oxygen that's starting to accumulate in corners. And we need to carry on building our our foundation, or not foundation, what do you call it? Like the outer wall of insulation tile. We need to carry on with that. So let's do that. Fluid oxygen will dissipate over time. Oh boy. I need a carbon trap. How long? Oh yeah, this is all. This is. Yeah, I did this weird. But so, like, the edges here, skip one. This should be 13, 14, 15. No, 15 right there. Okay. Hold on, there's a method to my madness, I swear. Alright. I can't imagine just leaving this game on idle. Like, being to that point of, like, where they're completely they're so self-efficient, like, you can just leave the game on idle. Not idle, but, you know, like have it run and it'll be completely fine while you go and do something else. It'd be a little weird, right? I'm on Twitter right now, but I can still hear the thing going in the background. Okay, we're back. Cali cat! You can hear the Cali cat being noisy and boisterous behind me. Okay, this is actually too big to be a stable, probably. So how you go here to room overlays. Oh, research complete. Nice, 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 nice. Maximum size is 96 tiles. And so what you do is, I always use the dig tool because this just works best. 92, 96. So it's a little big. Back, you were betrayed by Monkey D. Luffy. Whoa, wait a minute, hold on, I need context. I need some context. Give me the context. I'm all for out of context hijinks, but that's a serious accusation you're throwing out there. Hold on. Is this still 96? Yes, it is. Okay. So I put the cappuccino into my Monkey D. Luffy coffee mug. Ooh, oh, do you have one of the ones that, like, gets hotter and, like, changes because of the heat? But it was not large enough. Oh, no. To accommodate creamer. Oh, I see. Betrayal. I understand now. Edderday Caviter. Oh, that's a cute Catterday. Oh, I understand and see the betrayal now. Oh god. Cancel that. Messed up what we've done worked so hard for. There we go. But no, it's just regular coffee mug. It doesn't change. Oh, I got. Oh, okay. Still, that's kind of cool. Okay, we ended up not taking anybody. We ended up getting sand with like a notebook and keychain, and figure, oh, that's neat. I don't have a one-piece coffee mug like at all. I kind of want one. I have the one I have right now is a Snorlax coffee mug. It's kind of like it's a little bit bigger than average, and it says "but first coffee," and it's got like a sleeping Snorlax on it. It was really funny because when I first got this mug, I never put coffee in it. I put like soda and stuff in it. Mama uses, I have like a PlayStation Sony mug with like the PlayStation logo. And so I let Mama have that one. I have this, oh, I should take a picture and show it later. I have this really pretty um like Zelda. It has like a bunch of like as if they were stained glass windows, and it has like a bunch of Zelda pictures around it from Legend of Zelda. And then I've got a D20 tea coffee mug that's like it's supposed to be kind of like in the shape of a D20, and it has like a little lid on it to keep the stuff warm. I use my mugs for soda all the time, right? Honestly, like hello, thank you. I feel validated. Soda mug, soda mug gang here. One with a bat that says not a morning person, and then I have one with a Cheshire cat that says we're only here. Oh, I would love to get that for Jay or something. That'd be so cool. Okay. Hi, Lissa. How you doing? I hear Moogie outside. At least I think it's like Moogie. I have a thermos that has like some of the animated Pokemon on it, like from the cartoon is what I mean. It's like the pictures of Pokemon are from the cartoon, but it's got like a bunch of like it's got like a collage of Pokemon on it. I have to be really careful with that one because I actually got that thermos too hot, to the point where it built up moisture between the plastic wall and the metal, and so the plastic or the paper that has the picture, but like on the inside got wet. Like you can see where it's like it's got a little bit of moisture because I got the thermos too hot. So that's the thing. I'm okay. I've been feeling awful these past couple days. I can't explain why. I've just been feeling awful. Um, so that's something I've been dealing with. But good news is, so I start school tomorrow. It'll be my last class. It'll be my last semester probably, unless I ever decide to continue on my education. But it should be my last semester, and I just need one more class. So that starts tomorrow. And oh my god, the spoilers are out. Here, pause. Y'all chill for a second. So that starts tomorrow. My writing job, I asked for some time off because I'm like, hey, school's starting. I just need like a couple of days to make sure everything's fine. Uh, and so I got some time off for about Monday through Wednesday. I shouldn't have any work from my writing job. The other job I still have to do on and off, but that one I literally make my own hours. So that's fine as long as I remember to do it. I have a gray mug that says "Don't stress me out." Oh, that's cute. I need pictures of these mugs. You're freaking me out. Oh my god, those are cute. Yeah. So in conjunction with that, I have some big plans in my head. Uh, two of those big plans involve streaming. The other big plan involves writing, and we're doing an OC talk today, so that's good. I really wanted to get back to these because I have bubbles in the back of my head. They're not going anywhere, and I need to. This is how long. Okay, hold on. So I'm probably officially dating myself to anyone who sees this in the future. This is how long I've been on the internet to the point back on DeviantArt and like fanfiction.net, where we used to refer to like ideas that just popped up randomly while you were trying to work on something else as plot bunnies. And it's like, oh no, the plot bunnies are taking over again because they would multiply. Because they would multiply, and then suddenly you would just have too many of them while you're trying to focus on something else, right? Plot bunnies. It's I don't care how if people know how old I am, but I feel like I always mislead people with how my age. Either IRL, if you ever meet me, because I apparently don't look my age, or just in general, people either think I'm way older or way younger than I actually am. I was talking to a friend. No, 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 you're not old. By the way, I don't consider. I don't. I don't have. I say old as in a generalized term. My brother is like my brother is 11 and a half. He's basically 12 years older than I am, and I still don't really think of him as old, just that he is older than me. um, I also refuse to allow myself. Yes, by a few years. You and Lisa are both older than me. By like 1 year and then 2 years, because I know one of you's older than the other. Um, I'm also trying to be careful with what I say online, because like this is being broadcast live, it'll be recorded and then thrown up on YouTube. And thanks! And you're talking about your personal stuff, and I'm like, I assume you both are aware of that when you throw stuff in the chat, but I try to be careful about what I say in reference to certain things. That's like why I try to be careful about like whether or not I say your real name without your permission, stuff like that. Hold on, where am I going with this? Hi, kitten. Hi, boy. I've got a boy. Stuff that we're doing. Okay, so I've been having plot bunnies. It's okay. We just won't mention numbers. Yep, you're right. You're right. Well, this is what I was gonna say. Okay, before I got completely sidetracked, I was talking to a friend the other day, and they were like, "So you two know more or less how old I am now, right? Cool. Okay, so I was talking to a friend, and because I was talking about, and we were talking about Ninja Turtles, and the original Ninja Turtles cartoon came out in 1987, but I was talking about it as though because I know so much about the Ninja Turtle. I wouldn't say I know so much about them, but like I know a fair amount. Right? And so they were talking to me, and so they're like, "Oh, so you're like in your mid to late 30s, right?" And I fucking died, guys. I was just like, "Are you serious?" They're like, "Yeah, you're like almost 40. That's chill." And it's like they're trying to like make me feel good about it. I'm like, you're still so like you're not closed minded and you're so open about stuff and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, you're trying to say I'm as old as my brother, which is hilarious to me. It's so funny. And I was just like, and I don't care. And like, a part of it, it's kind of like a bit of a compliment that like I'm so knowledgeable about history and I seem mature to people that like they would assume I'm older. Like, I'm taking that as a compliment, not an insult. But it's still so freaking funny to me. um, so that happened. Um, but back on the point of plot bunnies, I've been having a lot of ideas, and one of the things I really want to get back in, I've been trying to, I've been slowly working on stuff, and I'm going to start posting. But I have new ideas, and I don't know what to do with them because I don't want to. As I stand right now, I write. I have in the works 4 what I consider major stories, and these are stories that are like they could be their own series. Like they have longer plot arcs, they have a lot of characters, they have their own big things, right? Versus like smaller stories that I have off to the side. They're like 1-offs or 2-offs or whatever, just side things to do for fun. But so I have 4 of those bouncing around the back of my head. One of them is on the Souls, the other one's the one about the Shadow Queen and the Sunlight Princess, and then the other 2 I haven't spoken too much about, mainly because one of them I would really like to make into like a visual novel puzzle game. If I could, like, ideally, if I could present that story as I want to, fresh out the gate, I would want to do it as a visual novel puzzle game. And I swear to God, that's like such a big for me to like start working towards. Um, but Ace, what are you doing? Please let me out in the bathroom. But brain work, please. In any capacity, please say words. But so Onslaught of Souls. I'm sorry, Onslaught of Souls is the one I want to focus on first because it's kind of the oldest. It actually I've been thinking about this lately. It's not the oldest story I have at the moment. Anima isn't the oldest OC I have, but there's such an integral part of me that's in that story that I really want to tell. And I've mentioned this to some of you maybe a couple of times. I'm not sure. I start talking about my stories and then I realize how much of myself I'm putting out there by saying the story that I shut the fuck up and I need to stop doing that. This why is this like this? Oh, that's why. That's where the door would be. Is this off? No, it's not. Okay, no, it's fine. Oh, it's just because that jumps in like that. This is driving me nuts. I don't know why. Um, you share all these things with me. Never shut up. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Um. Oh yeah, stage hatch. Nice. Sage hatches are good, cool. Mm. But you have to be careful because, like, so they'll eat polluted dirt and turn it into coal, which is nice. They're not a viable replacement for compost, though. Just FYI, they're not a viable replacement for compost. Also, when you put them in here, if you're getting the polluted dirt from these, you're going to have to put a wash basin in here because you're going to be carrying the germs. And so you put it in here, let them disinfect the critter feeder, and then wash their hands. Have I ever done anything with ventilation? Oh boy. Yes, and it caused me to nearly suffocate my entire base. I can start working towards ventilation though. Let me unpause these guys and let's get started. So some announcements I have involving I'm going to be streaming, so I got time off. School will be starting for me. So what I want to do throughout this week is I'm going to try to stream every day, and I've done this before. I know I can stream every day. I'll be fine. I'm going to try to stream every day, and so that we can start taking care of some things. One of the things we're going to take care of is we're going to finish Resident Evil 4, because I realized I kind of just left that up in the air because of Cult of the Lamb. So what we're going to do is Sushi streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and so when Sushi streams, we will be doing shorter streams like this, like this, or Cult of the Lamb, like little things, right? Little things. And then on the off days, so it'll be Tuesday and Thursday, I will do I will start sooner, and I will do longer Resident Evil 4 streams to try to finish up the game. So that's the streaming plan at the moment. And so we'll be playing Oxygen Included. We'll be getting back to Have a Nice Death, Cult of the Lamb, and other things. And I might get back to Final Fantasy 1 too. Hold on, we have a new dude. Harold is also tripped up. Hi. What is this? Allergies. Allergies aren't that big of a deal, but I don't have anybody. We're gonna take the allergy. I'm being really, really picky with my dupes right now. I don't know why. Allergies aren't that hard to deal with, but I do need a medicine. No, I have idle dupes. I do need a medicine doodad to make the allergy medicine. That's the official term for it. Allergy doodad. Can they not reach this? They cannot reach this. Hold on. Yeah, and see, like, now the polluted oxygen that was in these little rooms are gone. They've disappeared. I don't know where to, but they're gone. And so, ta-da. Ta-da-me-da. What was I talking about? Okay, so that's plan A for streaming. And then I'm going to start working on stuff. I'm going to start talking more about OCs and promoting my work in that aspect. So that's the plan. Oh, excuse me. That is a plan. Just a side plan. It's a thing that will be happening. It is a thing that will be happening. Nope, not that. Ace, young man. Oh my god. Hey, what are you doing? Why? He's trying to get into my bathroom cabinet again. Oh my god, 1 second. Come here. Come here and lay on your shelf. You have a perfectly good shelf with which to lay on. No, he's gonna stand in front of the monitor now then. Alrighty. That's fine. You stand there, I'll talk. I really need to get that cat cam. So yeah, those are plans, but let's get into the meat of this conversation, which will be talking about villains and antagonists, which are always fun. I remember reading this quote once, and it was into reference of like One Piece, I think, but like it was like a story is only as good as its villain, and I kind of agree with that because especially for like certain medias, like the most like you know your main characters, right? You'll always know your main characters, especially if it's a show you like. But like the villains leave such a lasting impression on you, especially ones that have what do you call this? And there's this thing of like, well, the villain's too relatable, and I'm like, is that a problem? Is the villain too relatable? Do you don't think maybe that says something about our society? But I'm not going to quite get into that right now. But you know, you can have a sympathetic villain, you can have a relatable villain, but still be aware of what they're doing is wrong, especially in the context of whatever the I have a tail in my face. Whatever the you know society and culture of that particular world for that story is. And I especially feel like all these times when we see these villains that are relatable or sympathetic, you realize they're a product of society for like something. Maybe you are the villain. Okay, so I make this joke with Yulia a lot. Where okay, so two things. Especially if I when I get around when I get around to GMing for you guys for when we do campaigns, the alignment chart in most tabletop RPGs, I threw that thing right the fuck out. That thing is going in the trash. fuck your alignment chart. I don't care. I hate it, and I especially hate in like the monster manual where it says stuff like, "Oh, this creature is always this," especially in terms of dragons. I'm like, no, no, they're fucking not. So just as a heads up, the alignment chart gets thrown in the trash. However, I do appreciate the idea of using the alignment chart to try to explain certain characteristics. So in that like joke, me and Yulia have always said this. Yulia's Yulia's somewhere between chaotic good and chaotic neutral, right? Which I feel like most people defaultly are. Most people defaultly are somewhere between chaotic good and chaotic neutral, and maybe neutral evil. That would like that. There's your spectrum for the average person. That's my belief anyway. So in reference, and this comes from two things. This comes from a character I have that I've played a lot as, and like helped me shape part of my gender identity. Um, but I also say this about myself. I am chaotically neutral evil. Like if I had to give myself an alignment, it would be chaotically neutral evil. It's the most evil. Fair enough. I believe you. But so that's that. So again, I throw the alignment chart right the fuck out. And I have that feeling with a lot of villains, with the villains too. It's like, oh, the villain's evil. Well, okay, so here's where this comes from. Especially with how I write. I'm pausing again. Stop pausing. Um, Ace, do you want out, baby? You just got let in. Hold on, let me let him out so he'll stop screaming. He's deeply upset. Oh, I need to do research. Okay, so we have our ranching ability, but we don't have a rancher yet. So that's gonna have to wait for a second. Is this still unreachable? Oh yeah, because I need to be above it. I am dumb. Hold on. There we go. Okay. 1 second. Let me unpause them. I'll be right back. Come on. Come on. You wanted me here so badly, but then you went out. Close the door again. Okay. Give him like 30 minutes. He'll be back. If even that. So, in terms of before we start talking about villains, I got a little head missile. Before we start talking about villains and their motives, you have to understand, like, okay, so it's a villain. That's also why I said villain and antagonist in the title. So, right. Just to back up a little bit, an antagonist is not necessarily a villain. If you go back to where the terms protagonist and antagonist come from, they come from, I think, the like Greek way of doing plays, where your protagonist, where often they were like one man plays, right? You had like a person, and they told a story and they went on a tale, right? And I might be very wrong about this, but you'll get the general gist of it. Yeah. So you have your protagonist, and he's by himself, and he's telling the story, and he's going on his adventure and telling the tale, and etc. etc. Right? And so, but after a while, you have a second actor character come into the thing, and most of the time, that second character stands in opposition of the first character. So you have your protagonist and you have your antagonist. And so your antagonist is not a villain; they're not a bad guy. They're someone who stands in opposition to the protagonist. That is the pure. That is the basic definition of antagonist. And so, like, if you're, and so, for example, if your story revolved around a villain and your villain was your protagonist, the hero trying to stop the villain would be their antagonist, right? Just there you go. There's that explanation. I'm talking with my hands again. um, okay, so there you go, villain, antagonist. Both are important, but they mean different things. Where to next? Where to next? Okay, so what makes a villain, right? And so before another thing, so this was say something I write about commonly is the forces of darkness and light, and I'm going to refer to them as that. They're forces. They're like gravity, right? They're there. They exist. And I believe this both in media and in our IRL. The light and darkness are forces that exist. Now, light and darkness have nothing to do with good and evil. They're neutral on their own, as any other force, as like fire, gravity, anything. It is a neutral force on its own. It is how someone or something utilizes that force that changes that changes its tension. And it's a big thing I play with in the story about the Sunlight Princess and the Shadow Queen. And it's like it's not a novel idea at all, but I still feel like I get it's a pet peeve, I guess. And I'll hear people talk about ghost and stuff, and they're like, oh, the dark entity of this ghost. And I'm like, why is the ghost a dark entity exactly? How do you know it's not a light entity? How do you know it's not technically an angel, right? Like a ghost is a ghost. And that's another separate thing. But I get really annoyed with like people equating darkness immediately to evil. And I know why. Right, I know why. Because in our societies there's this belief of like, well, darkness inheritance with night, inheritance. It's not the right word. I don't know what the word I'm trying to think of is. But in conjunction or working with. Yeah. With or compared to. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. But however, it is often, equated to night and shadow and stuff. And so the quote unquote bad things of the world happen at night or happen in the shadows where they can't be seen, where they can't be caught, right? And so you have that similarity for one. However, good and evil is defined by culture and defined by morals. Um so what, and I used this example when I was explaining why I don't like the alignment chart to a friend. Is say you have a let's say from the one perspective you have a lawful evil paladin, and he's crusading for his god and his king, and he's invading on a country or whatever, right? And so that he comes off as being evil. He's killed thousands, is looted and taken that treasure back to his kingdom, etc., etc. You flop that perspective over to the people of that kingdom, and what if they were starving? What if they owed a debt to another country that they needed to pay off and didn't have a way to? And so he's bringing back these things, or he's protecting them from what they think is may or may not be invaders, or dangerous to them. He is a hero in their eyes. He is not lawful evil. He is lawful good. And so that's why the entire alignment thing, the entire hero villain thing, is all about perspective, and it goes back to morality and culture. And I've taken philosophy classes, and one thing I read and I had in philosophy class was also, if I'm talking too fast, tell me to slow the fuck down or repeat something. One thing I had in a philosophy class was what was it? The rich and powerful define the morals of their culture. And that's kind of true, unfortunately, but it is kind of true. But that example was talking about how justice can be immoral to a society, because if you find something, if you find like an injustice in a culture and you start to fight against it, you are fighting against the people who make said morals. So therefore, you were being immoral. That is, but like I said, that's another conversation. I'm getting distracted. So you have villains, and you have what is essentially a person who is going against the morals and the beliefs of whoever your protagonist is, probably. Probably, right? We don't know. But probably. I do feel this in some of my stories that may or may be lacking. I'm missing that inherently. So it's like, how do you say this? Let's use One Piece as an example again. I'm sorry, but it's like something I know that we're all familiar with. Doflamingo, inherently evil. Like, I don't think any of us are going to argue that, right? But he's a fun villain, right? He's entertaining, most importantly. And, like, once you know his backstory, like, you get it. Kind of. Like, you don't agree with it, but you get it, right? You don't know who Doflamingo is. Fuck my life. Who's someone else I can think of? Where are you in One Piece? Crocodile. We can use Crocodile. Okay, Crocodile is actually probably a better example than Doflamingo. You know who Crocodile is, yeah? Penny! Oh, no. No, we can do this. We can make this work. We can make this work. And there's still a supplier. Okay, we can... No, wait. They're going to be a cook. I think you guys said you were heading for the war, Paramount? Right outside Marineford. For the war? Okay, Pei is the new Sushi. However, Sushi, because of Lyra's job, she's keeping the leotard. But once I find another leotard, I will give it to her. I will give it to Pei. Pei, come here. Pei. Sushi. Okay. Oh god. Sushi, you're a cook. We don't have a thing for you to cook at yet, but you're a cook. Gossman's fine. Who was I going to move? No, wait, Gossman's moving. No, Gossman's not moving. Who's going? Ruby's moving. Yes, Ruby's moving. Here we go. Oh, okay, we'll give Zach doctoring because he already has this. He's not going to be the doctor, but we will give him doctoring because he has the skills. He has the ability. And we're going to give you ranching. You're not going to be our rancher, but we will give you ranching. Start giving people... Okay. I hate cooking IRL. For some reason, until like on MMOs, I want to do cookie things. Aw, it's cute. Okay, but okay, so back to the original question. You know who Crocodile is, right? Alabasta, Mr. Sandman, Sandman Man, something that I can. I don't remember how the song goes. Yes, I've seen that set like twice now. Okay, so Crocodile's another example. Inherently evil arc. Yeah, they're called arcs in One Piece typically, right? Okay, Crocodile. I wouldn't say inherently evil, but arguably the man's evil, right? Regardless of whether or not he helps Luffy. Crocodile is... I wouldn't say Crocodile's chaotic evil. I would definitely say Crocodile's like a mix between lawful evil and neutral evil. If I, again, I'm just using the alignment chart because as much as I disagree with it, it works for a basis, right? And so the reason why I say this, I say he's lawful evil in that he follows his own code pretty strictly. Like, he has a very specific moral code he follows. The next thing I would say is neutral evil is everything he does is for his benefit and his benefit alone. Right? So just for examples, don't get stuck on that slime. You motherfucker. I'm not taking that out, Zach. Sorry, 1 second. I know better, and I still do this to myself. Destroy that. Cancel that. Okay. Where was I going with this? Okay, Crocodile, right? And so he stands in opposition to our protagonist of Luffy and Vivi, right? In that he wants to control their country and turn it into... And he wants the super weapon, right? And we don't really ever find out too much. Like, he wants the super weapon probably so he can go up against the world government, but we don't really ever find out too much more after that because Luffy stops him. Also because, like, the super weapon wasn't there anyway, so fuck, I guess. Where am I going with this? We need to start building things. I need to start building the outhouse. Or their bathroom area. I was gonna do over here, but there's slime over here. So that's gonna be fun. Although... 1 second. And so Crocodile still falls in line with he's an entertaining villain. And he's an entertaining villain that both... I don't think Crocodile, less so than with Doflamingo, I don't think Crocodile is relatable. Because we don't know where he comes from, other than he's a he's a pirate, and something must have led him to piracy, we assume. But in the world of One Piece, you very quickly learn that, like, being a pirate doesn't mean jack shit in terms of good and evil. So there's that, I guess. Where are we going with this? Oh, they're still researching that. But he's still a good villain, right? He's a good villain. You don't have to agree with him, but you can see where his goals lie. They're pretty clear and they're out there. He's not relatable, perhaps, and neither is Doflamingo. But like the thing with Doflamingo is you learn his backstory, and you can see again how the culture shaped him. How like he is a result of things that are within the world. Um, uh, and so that's also important for like a villain. Like, what is the villain's motives? And the villains don't always have to have these huge motives, right? They don't always have to have some grand scheme. Ace is back. My poor mom, constantly letting that cat in and out. He can't make up his mind. Not every villain has to have a grand scheme. There are people who are inherently awful just because, and it's unfortunate. You normally something eventually you assume something made them that way, but you don't always find out what it is in the story. And because it could also just be something as simple as greed or power hungry, right? And like that's okay. It's a very human thing, unfortunately. Right? Like that's okay. And so so you have different kinds of villains, right? Not every villain is going to be ultra relatable, but they do always stand to, and like I see this, I guess, and I'm bouncing around because my brain's not functioning right now, but you see this a lot in movies, and I watch CinemaSins, which is one of the things how I noticed didn't get pointed out, and it's in video games too, where you have this like the bad guy does something awful just to remind you he's a bad guy. And it's like, you don't need that 90% of the time. I'm just gonna throw out there and say it. I'm definitely that person who says, like, I didn't need to be reminded I hate this guy. Like, dude killed main character's family. I don't need to be reminded he's awful. Or something along those lines. I'm not gonna say any particular series, but like just in that general thing. But you see that in movies a lot of like the main bad guy shoots one of his subordinates because they didn't do something exactly as he said, and it's just like just in case you forgot, this guy's awful. Here you go. He just killed one of his subordinates just because. And like there's nothing inherently wrong with that, except for like as a trope, it's a little annoying. Because it's like, okay, well, I guess you just have an endless supply of henchmen. Sure. But like those kind of tropes, they exist. It's fine. uh, and see those kind of villains. Get rid of that. Another thing. Oh dear. Oh, I'm out of power. Why are we out of power? Oh, is everything connected to that? Hold on 1 second. I'll check my power grid. No, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I do need to keep an eye on it though. We need to swap over to coal soon. And that means I need a rock crusher. This isn't taking up power, so I'm gonna put the rock crusher over here. Oh, I know examples we can use. Let's use Final Fantasy VII as an example. Just in case you forgot he has a gun, pow pow, exactly. Let's use 7 as an example. So I don't know if Lissa's played 7 or if she knows, but you know the story of 7, right, Sushi? You said you looked into it, even though you haven't beaten it, I think, is what you said. I would use Kuja as an example, but you haven't beaten 9, so I don't want to say anything. but let's use 7. Like, so you have Sephiroth, right? And you have, more importantly, even though Sephiroth's the big bad of 7, more importantly, his driving factor is Genova, and so it's a weird thing of like who's in power there, Genova or Sephiroth, right? Because and Genova is a thing that we can kind of say that Genova's inherently evil. Genova goes from planet to planet and just destroys the entire planet. Like, I expose myself here, but most of the times, oh no, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. That's fine. You're good. All right, but okay, so you know Genova, right? And so like, and that's the thing, right? Genova went from planet to planet, apparently, just destroying the planets, and inside the Cetra were, rightfully afraid of her. And so we can very clearly make this argument of yes, Genova's evil. I love her. Swear to God, love her to death. Genova's evil, and so, and Seven's another good example of they're the results of the world they live on. Shinra, in their quest for power and energy, um, alien with the booba. With the booba and the tentacles. She's a full package lady. Hi, Ace. Do you want out again? He's so upset that my door is closed when I stream. um, she covers all the bases. She really does. Oh wait, what was I saying? God damn it. Oh, they went around like that. Do do do. Oh, I know what to do. Hold on. And I know what to do. And so you have Shinra, who wants power, right? And so they found Genova somewhere. Fuck if I ever remember where exactly. They found Genova somewhere and just like, oh, this is a very strong alien force. Let's take DNA out of her and implant them into our soldiers to make super soldiers. Nothing can possibly go wrong with this plan. And so that's how you have Sephiroth, right? And then he comes to, that whole, yeah, absolutely nothing will go wrong. He loses his mind, goes on this crazy, oh no, no, like immediately afterwards, like, oh wait, turns out it went wrong. Oh, I haven't dug slime out yet, so I don't have it available to put away. Fudge. Um, right, and so you have the whole thing of like Sephiroth like losing his fucking mind and trying to figure out what the fuck his purpose in life is and etc. Um, and he comes to the conclusion that like, okay, well, if Genova's his mother, then and like I don't remember exactly where Sephiroth got to the point of the world belongs to him and Genova. Because surely during all that reading, he must have heard about the Cetra. I'm actually got a couple of blanks here and there. But Ace, Jesus, I don't know if you guys can hear him. Kitten, come here, baby. Come here, cuteness. The point is, I don't need to give y'all a full recap. Fucking Resident Evil 7, wrong franchise. Final Fantasy 7. You got it right, Sephiroth. But so there's his motivation though, right? He wants to fulfill Genova's desire of destroying the planet. And like it runs up to oh no. I wish I could hear it. He's upset. I don't think you want to hear him. Kitten, you just were let in here. No. Oh my god. Hold on. Let me let him out again. Baby. Hi, dude. Do you want to get up here? So you have and so you have like like I said, in 7 you have multiple villains. Like you can easily say that. You have Shinra, and you have Sephiroth and Genova. And now, like again, Genova is it's weird to say Genova's a third party to this, but she kind of is. Hayren's freedom of choice. The door is inherently evil. You know what? You're not wrong. Hold on, pause for a second because I realize I have idle juice, but I'm trying to talk to y'all and deal with my cat. The and so you have, it's weird to say Genova's an outside party, but she kind of is, right? And so your villain, your villain is Sephiroth through Shinra, right? Shinra is the big evil company that made it's a collaboration. Shinra is the company that made Sephiroth through the use of Genova, right? Dormant for the most part, yes. And like Sephiroth is able to feed power into her when you fight her. Yeah, and he's trying to like wake her up and resummon the meteor. Or something like that. And like I said, I have weird blink spots. Hold on, fixing my blanket. And you know, everyone, and I hope you play 6. Actually, because like, okay, so Sephiroth's a good villain, right? He's entertaining, he's sexy, I guess. It's weird how that actually there's that checkbox on a villain, right? And he has great monologues, and he's constantly harassing the party, etc., etc. He is pretty odd, right? Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of him with short hair? Like, I wasn't aware that was something I needed in my life. Oh goodness. No? Oh goodness. If I can find one, I'll send it to you. And I think they're official. I'm not sure. Where was I going with this? And for as good as Sephiroth is, he's a little flat as a villain. I'm fucking take away my Final Fantasy VII card or whatever you want to. He's a little flat, and one of the actual best villains in Final Fantasy history is Kefka from 6, which is why I really hope you play 6. Kefka is so good. Like, psychotic clown person. I actually hope. Okay, so I've heard this complaint, and I know you've never played 6. I know you've never played 6. But the way he's portrayed in, like, Dissidia is accurate, but it's a little much. Like, they lean. And it's a weird thing to say because he does dress and look like a clown, and he does have like that weird laugh. Like, he has this whole evil gesture thing going. But the way they represent it in Dissidia, they lean into it a little too much. And it takes, it's not that it takes away from all the awful things he does, but he's a little more jokery as opposed to being what he is. He was fun to play. He is fun to play. I've played a few Dissidia games. So I hope you play 6 so you can see him in like the raw form of how he is. And like I said, like Dissidia, it's not an inaccurate portrayal of him, but they do lean on the clown aspect a little more than they should. Hold on, I have idle tapes. Oh, slime. Slime! Unslime me. Put all the slime in this box right now. Okay. Right, but so there's a complaint about 7. 7 has good villains, but they're kind of flat. And I'm not going to say anything about Kuja because you're in the middle of playing 9 right now. And when I say they're flat, what I mean is they're... and there's nothing wrong with having a flat villain, except for when you go digging into it too much, which is what I do. When I say they're flat, I mean... like, it's very point A, point B. It's... evil company wants more money, and they'll do whatever it takes to get more money. Sephiroth wants to destroy the planet. There, point A and point B. That they're very basic, I guess. Versus, I'm trying to think of what's a good villain that isn't like that as an example. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's all you need. Oh, okay, shoot. You've never played Tales of Vesperia, right? But you want to? Dang it, Tales of Vesperia is so good. Tales of Vesperia is so good. I have a type, and it's the white silver-haired characters that aren't old. Oh, you have played Vesperia? Have you beaten it? I guess is the next question. You haven't beaten it. There we go. Shoot. Because so in Tales of Vesperia can be split up into 3 parts. Just assume. Are you sure? Because I don't want to spoil anything for you. It's such a good game. Just assume I haven't beaten anything. I want to play Vesperia on stream, except 10. And see, 10's the one I don't know very well. Hello, Harold. Get in here. Oh shoot, I need to fix our schedules. Okay, you're gonna be a farmer until I make you a rancher. Move Harold. Hi, kitten. I know, baby. I know. I know, you're upset. You want the door open. I don't know what to tell you, sweetheart. Okay, well, enough examples. Let's talk about my villains. Ha ha ha. Who do I put on the schedule? Do I have enough beds? Am I bedless? No, I'm not bedless. We have full beds. Alright, here, I'll move Sushi and Zach down here. There we go. And then next person we get, we'll throw down here and then separate it out like that. Okay, there we go. Tales of Xillia. Tales of Symphonia. Symphonia was okay. I didn't play it though. I watched my brother play it, and so I'm a little vague on certain details. Wrong button. What's a good villain example I can give y'all? Oh, actually, before I get back into that, I can actually give you all another example, kind of, that's related to a hyperfixation I have at the moment. In Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for season 1, you have, because most of the time, for most iterations of the Turtles, you have Shredder as their main antagonist, right? And for various different reasons, but you have Shredder, right? Deadpool, I mixed up. Good. Right, you have Shredder. Shoot, I need to fix my power grid. This is about to be a problem. In season 1 of Rise, though, instead of Shredder, who you have a character named Baron Draxum, voiced by John Cena in season 1 of Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And this is spoilers, but I'll drag you all into all of this eventually anyway. I am determined you all will watch the series with me. You don't have to, but also you need to. You need to at least watch the movie with me. Baby. I still have a kitten meowing at me. Oh god, don't do that. You have Baron Draxum. And you learn that Baron Draxum is the one who was doing the experiment that ultimately made the turtles, right? He ultimately is the one who mutated them. But you discover why he did it, right? He wanted to make, so there's yokai and Rise. And they, according to Baron Draxum, and from a couple other evidence, they're in hiding. Like, they're in hiding, and he refers to this incident, he says it was the humans who forced the yokai to go underground and to go hiding. I look forward to my future kidnapping. There's more than just the shredder. Fuck yeah. Oh, and that's not even just a Rise thing. There have always been like you have Krang. To see, look what you've done. Yeah, you have Krang who either works with Shredder or is trying to manipulate the Shredder, or in some cases is the Shredder. That's 2003, which I will always hold very dear to my heart. Spoiler alert. But goddamn, 2003 is so good. Um, the 2003 Turtles is what I mean when I say that. Um, it's like the one I grew up with. Yeah, so you have more than just the Shredder. You have but in Rise you have Baron Draxum, and like I said, he made the turtle because so he has this belief that humans, and it's you see it seems to be kind of true. Humans forced yokai into hiding, and there's this prophecy the yokai have about an evil that will come and annihilate them, and it's Draxum's belief that that evil is probably humans. And misguided as that might be, he probably has his reasonings for believing that, right? Hold on. Construct this. So he makes the turtles, and they were supposed to be a kind of. Hold on. Ace? God damn it. Hey. He wants out again. Oh my goodness. The door isn't staying open, dude. You just gotta learn to love it. I'm back. Where was I going? So he makes the turtles in this belief that he makes them to be soldiers to protect against this evil prophecy that they have of someone coming to destroy them, right? And it's like, okay, that's all fine and good. So and that's what they're made. He's trying to do a good thing, right? He's trying to protect the yokai people. However, how he's going about it is wrong. And even the quote unquote council that you see in in the series, like the yokai count, it's like a yokai council. Tell him like, no, this isn't a good idea. This isn't what you should be doing to protect our people. What is on this? What? 550? Okay, we can connect this. It's going to be running a little high, but it'll be okay. That just means I'm going to have somebody up here all the time running on this thing. Right, and you come to that eventual. Even Baron Jackson comes to that eventual conclusion of like humans weren't what he was concerned about. It was actually something else. And you know he has. But anyway, I'll save the rest of that for when I make you all watch the series with me. But back to that point of he did an awful thing for a good reason, or what he thought was a good reason, and it makes him a villain for, like season 1, right? He's like the villain they're trying to face off against because he's got these evil. Well, and they become evil plans, and even he admits to being kind of evil, right? But I guess he's at to that point where it doesn't matter anymore as long as his goal succeeds. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. I need to do something about this polluted water, because I need to get in here. Well, this is about to be fun. I'm about to make a lot of my duplicates sick. Oh well, here we go. I guess we'll just talk about this, or we'll do this while I'm talking about evil people. Oh, don't pause. Keep going. Okay, the copper's done, so I can swap over to coal power eventually. I'll need to do that soon. $14. Oh yeah, you mentioned. Oh yeah, I was actually gonna ask, like, what kind of villains do you guys have in Final Fantasy XIV? Ah, wrong button. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I know some of them, but I also get very confused on is this person a villain or the fans just really thirsty for him? And it turns out the answer is probably yes. So you can give me yeah, and like that. Like I can't always tell who a villain is based on what I see. on different things. I remember Lissa one time sent me a screen cap of like a dialogue scene, and she was asking me about like the placement of two different characters and like what that might mean. Incredible, interestingly relatable. I think in itself is a good example of someone doing bad things for a good reason. Yeah, it's that's why I get always back and forth. I'm like, I can't tell. Do people hate this guy or what is up? But it's cool to have complex villains, and like you don't have to agree with them. Like, okay, what they're doing wrong, bad, but it's complex and it makes you think. Which I think, not saying every piece of media should make you think, but when you have pieces of media that do make you think, it's really great. Oh, well, that battery just got buried. Hold on. Please stop burying the batteries. We need those. Where I was getting with this is because I have such a hard time with just something being outrightly good or evil. I worry sometimes that my villains are lacking in certain aspects because it's a spoiler. There's a series. It's not one of the main four that I was talking about, but it's connected and it's something I've put a lot of work into. But and it's a romance story, right? And it's about here I am about to fucking out myself again. Not really out myself, but the creation of this story and the characters comes from a specific place within my own history, right? But you have this character. His name is Ren, and so this is going into this character is evil. One of the characters are evil. I'm not going to argue that, but they're not a bad guy and they're not a villain. Um, and this flows back to perspective, right? So you have your main character. His name is Ren, and he was born with an illness that causes him not necessarily to be bedridden, but he's very weak a lot of the time and spends about 90% of his life in his room, in his bed. And due to how their society works and how and culture and things, not that his parents couldn't afford to give him his medication, but his father is very specific about running a business, and he treats his family like running a business. And so every child he has a specific amount of money that is supposed to go into raising that child. And he has it all calculated out and everything, right? Right? And so with Rin being sick, his cost now exceeds that of what it should be. And so when by the time he started getting really bad and they were able to diagnose him, he was old enough to understand what was going on, right? He was like, I don't know, I don't think I ever put an actual like number on it, but let's say he was like 12, right? And so he made a deal with his father. He's like, okay, well, let's lower the cost in other areas. Like, since I'm bedridden and sick, I don't need extra clothing for going outside. I don't need, you don't have to send me to certain schools. I can do all my reading here through books that you already own. And then he made deals with his father of like, well, I'll work for you. I'll be the accountant for the store because they run like a grocery store. Like his father owns like a lot of farmland, and they run like a food store. And he's like, I'll be the accountant for your things. And so he makes this deal with his father, and so he eats less than the rest of his siblings. He only has his one bedroom, and he does, and there's a lot of things that normally would have gone into his growing or blah, blah, like physical materials that he just doesn't have. And it's to buy medication. And or well, it's to buy medication. What actually it is it's twofold. He's saving up to buy the cure, and then the rest of it goes towards a medicine that helps alleviate symptoms. My fave did everything wrong and it was very sexy of him. I've seen that. I've seen those kind of tweets before, and I get it. I get it. There's a ladder there. I have to clear out all of this. in order to get to where we're going so I can build the bathroom over here. This is my problem, is like there was no good place to build this bathroom. Oh, it's such a headache every time. And there's polluted oxygen down there. It's okay, they'll be fine. Probably. I need to make a hospital area somewhere. I don't have a... I do! Zach has doctoring abilities. Hold on, let me... It's not going to actually be... You can use it outside the... You can use it outside the hospital, right? Oh, but this thing takes so much power. 240 watts. Motherfuckers. Okay, actually, we'll build it over here. So I can be connected to this one. I think you can use the sick bay outside the hospital. I'm hoping. If not, I'm gonna have to fucking fix that real quick. Okay. Let that start doing its thing. Oh, that egg is going to die. Oh, no, it'll hatch. It'll probably hatch. It'll be fine. Where are you at? Where are you incubating? 20 viability? We'll just keep an eye on the viability. Right, so you have... So Rin makes this deal with his father, right? And Rin lives the next 10 years of his life like that. That's just how he lives. That's just how it be. And then enters Azrael, right? And Azrael is the character I was talking about earlier, who is evil. No joke, he's just evil. And yes, I named him after the Angel of Death, but I decided to be cheeky about it. Also, I like the name Azrael. I think it sounds pretty. Hold up. Okay, we have a cook. We need a doctor. Kitchen menace, anemic. Can really dig, though. Alright, no, that's decorating. That's not doctoring. Ah! This isn't what I want. None of this is what I want. Oh, no. Oh, no. Also, none of you are good? It's anemic. That's not bad. Farming, cooking, supplying, noodle arm. We can fix the noodle arms. Like, okay, he has a negative... I hate this. So he has a -3 strength here, but a +3 strength here because he likes tidying. What is... So they cancel each other out. He'll be okay. Probably be okay. Hold on. Where are you at, Joshua? Come here. Where is your strength at? That's the skills. His strength is at a 0. Okay, so he's fine. So he's... It's based. It canceled itself out. Schedule... Joshua, skills, right there, and now we've fixed his strength. Joshua, we're just gonna put the courier hat on you. You're gonna be a little bit of everything. Sometimes you need multiple roles. Where was my... it was Enter Azrael, who in this example is the evil character. No joke. I'm like not even gonna try to be coy about it. He's evil. But he... So the way Azrael and Ren meet is... they take, like, siestas, kind of, because it gets really hot and humid in the middle of the day, so people sleep in the middle of the day. I think siesta is the right word. I don't know why the water's bothering me. I need another... Jesus, we need more deodorizers over here. And so, you know, one day while everyone's asleep and Rin's trying to sleep, but sort of failing at it because he keeps waking up. Which mood? He sees, and like he left his window open because it's hot, right? He sees this person just kind of in his room. And like they're like panting from exertion, etc. They're just in the room. Okay, so insufficient resources, medical bay outside. Is that a bad? I don't have the means to make medical packs anyway. Not really. I can get to them if I really have to. It'll release a bunch of chlorine. Ew. Okay, we'll worry about that in a second. Slimeling isn't as bad as it used to be, but it's still super annoying. Hey, there's a nice biome. I'm going the right direction. Hell yeah, my dudes. I need to massively fix all of these things. Okay, so they're building there. We're building over here. Okay, long story short, because if I don't stop myself, I will sit here and try to tell you the entire story. Long story short, Rin and Azrael become friends. Because Rin realizes there's something weird about Azrael, kind of. Clearly. But he's also not in position to A, do anything about it, and B, care to do anything about it. Because, like, okay, so what's he gonna do? Tell somebody that, I don't know, this random guy was in my room. He didn't steal anything, he didn't threaten him, he's just in the room. And so that was the thing. Coal generator. Oh, jeez. And so, like, they become friends over time, right? And you learn that, okay, so this is another storyline thing. Above where Rin lives, above their little village town, it's not a village, it's a town. It's actually a city. If I think about how big it actually is. It's not a beanstalk, it's a giant tree. But it's a tree, and giants live, and what are the equivalent of, like, storm giants live in that tree. And I don't want to say control. Well, no, control. They're the overseers of the town. The people, like, send offerings to them, and the, like, religion of the town doesn't necessarily worship them, but they revere them in a way. Right? So you have all that fun jazz. And the cure that Rin needs comes from the flowers from that tree. But the giants are very protective of the tree and the flowers, and so so that's why in order to cure himself, in order to buy that medicine, it would cost a lot of money, because the giants are like, sure, we'll give it to you, but you have to pay up for it, basically. And so you learn Azrael doesn't like the giants, really does not like the giants, for a reason, but everyone has their own reason. Settings. Azrael really doesn't like the giants. And you find out through, like, little snippets that he's trying to climb his way up into the tree to not kill the giants, but he's trying to get to the tree for some reason. Right? To do something, right? Hold on, I'm just trying to keep an eye on them. I need to move this quickly. We need to get on top of this soon. I also need to make a kitchen. And so for this story, actually, you could say the villains and the antagonist are society. It's like a man versus society sort of thing. Society, Rin's family, or father specifically, and the giants, and the religious culture therein of society. Hold on. Okay, no one's gotten Slimeling yet. I don't know how bad it is, though. Oh, I need to... Oh, this is going to be bad. I need to destroy all of this. Okay. Have I lost anybody yet? So Azrael, there comes a time for Rin where he gets so far along in his illness that I don't want to say he falls into a coma necessarily, but he gets to a point where maybe maybe it counts as a coma. I don't know. I'd have to ask someone who knows more about these things than I do. But he falls like he falls asleep basically, and he doesn't wake back up. He's still alive, but like it's not good. And so Ren, who had steadily been making, what did I just do? Hold on. What did I just do? That should be fine, because they'll connect through, what is this? Stop. They don't ever show you flow of power for these things. Like, I know I can do this. And then... See, it's weird. What have I done? No, it's bothering me. 1 second. 1 second while I try to fix this mess. Probably the most annoying story time any of you have ever had to put up with, because I keep stopping to fucking fix whatever I'm doing. You don't have to have it go individually. It can all just connect. I think. It can, like that. Something about that's making my brain go in weird directions. Like, huh? Maybe? I don't know anymore. Okay, where was I? God damn it. What am I doing with my life? Okay, now I need to split my... Oh god, wait, hold on. Is everything connected? Everything's connected, okay. Now I have to split the power. Because... Shoot. Destroy these. What is on this grid? 720. That was a lot. Hold on, I need 120. What is that, 60? 180. It's because of this. And these. Okay, hold on. One second, I'll be right back to story time in just a minute. As soon as I fix this mess. Okay, is this all connected? 780. Is this connected? 250. Wait, is that true? No. Wait, what's not connected? Wait, why is it flashing yellow? Like it's strained. Or maybe it's not flashing yellow, it's just I have it hovered over the thing. Okay, good. Because I was going to say, it's 255, how's it strained? That's not connected. Why isn't that connected? Connect. There we go. And then, so that's 375, and then I can connect this. There we go. Okay, better. Oh my goodness. Where was I at? Jesus. Is anyone still with me? Do. Oh, right. So Rin falls ill, and then Azrael, who had slowly been making progress to do all the things, uses his chance, like his one chance, to get in there and do what he was going to do with the giants. Instead of using it to do what he was going to do, he uses it instead to steal the medicine and take it to Ren and cure him. And so there's, like, later in the lineup of things that happen, there's people who are trying to, like, talk some sense into Ren. They're like, you're a reasonably good person. You have to be aware that Azrael's evil, and Ren's not blind. Like, he gets it. But there's also this part of him is like, what you're calling evil is also the only person who's cared anything for me. And Rin's lived in like the society he lives in. It's like his viewpoint of good and evil is really skewed anyway, because it's like, sure, you say that, but I have my own life evidence that contradicts what you just said. Because, like, and if I had to, like, pull the story back to the larger scheme of things, the giants aren't evil. Like, they protect the flower for a very specific reason. And, like, okay, maybe it's a little shitty that they force people to pay so much, but again, there's a reason for that. It's not necessarily the best reason, and it's not definitely necessarily a reason that Rin or anyone who's sympathetic to Rin is going to appreciate and agree with. So, there's that. Submit those again. Okay. I'll leave that be. How am I supposed to do this? This is such a mess. But so that's an example of an evil character who isn't a villain. Let's get back to villains. So, I'm trying to think. So this is what I mean by, like, I don't have villains. I have antagonists most of the time, and I have antagonists who are reasonably evil, but I guess that makes them a villain. Does it? Is that where we're going with this? Is a villain an antagonist who's evil? Thoughts on that? They're trying to spray. All of this is just full of germs. Hold on. I need to... hold on. Building bathrooms is such a fucking stressful thing, because you have to tear everything out and then do it. Hold on, my brain is not working with me right now. It sounds above your pay grade. What's above your pay grade? Oh, that's fair. It's a weird thing to think about, right? Not real weird. It's not weird to think about, but it's... I think Goswin took... Oh, they're idle. That's why I was like, what, Goswin? Or are you just sitting there? Oh my god. Okay, so 2 things we need to do, actually. Oh, we need to build another one of these things. We need to build these things over here, because I have to destroy all this. Surprise, no one's sick yet. I'm jinxing myself. Oh, wait, I have... Well, see, okay, so there's also the other thing of, like, it's another pay. Wait a minute, don't we already have pay? Wait a minute. Imposter. Shoot, I'm about to have food problems. Oh god, this is an issue, always. Refrigerators take so much power. Especially when my crisis today is flammable, inflammable, literally meaning the same thing, and it's stupid non-flammable is the word. Things that don't catch fire easily. So if something's inflamed, like your knee, right? It's not on fire, but it's like experiencing irritation or whatever, like the muscle's inflamed. Engulfed, inflamed. No, see, that's two words. Engulfed in flames. Inflammable. No, because... No, I see where you're getting with this, right? Because the word invisible, right? It's not visible. How does that work? English is such a fucked language. No, I say this as an English major and someone who loves like literature and stuff like that and writing. English is a fucked language. It's so funny because there was authors out there, right, who specifically wrote in English because it was such a... Thank you, Shakespeare. It had such a variety of words, and it's like, oh, their variety of words comes from stealing words from other languages. A, and then B, making up words, basically making shit up. I'm not joking. That's like you have oh yeah, Rowan has ranching. Okay, so I can do the ranching thing already. You have shoot, what is it? Shakespeare, and you have words like birthplace and fairy tale. Those words didn't exist until I can't necessarily remember if Shakespeare's the person to take credit for that, but like until they were just like, oh, what if I put the two words together, and that's how that happened. So English is fun. Always. Always has fun. Yeah, invalid is not valid, and just inflamed. It has to be something else. It's because you're not saying inflamed, you're saying inflammable. Are you sure? Hold on. Inflammation. Right? That's where that is. Because I'm trying to think, something is inflammable. No. No, because you would say flammable. It's a flammable, inflammable substance. I'm about to fucking pause the game and go look up on Google for this bullshit. It's not your fault, Sushi. It's just now I'm thinking about it, and I agree with you. It's bullshit. Oh, so when I don't know if you've seen the Sushi, but like when they're wrangled, they're like stuck, and then someone has to come by and pick them up and then drop them. Oh, I haven't set this. Hold on, shit, that's my fault. Hatch. There we go. There, and see, they pick them up in little bags, and then they carry them off. Hatch. We feed our hatches. We feed them sandstone. Okay. It's just me there. I believe you. I do believe you, and my brain's just trying to work through it now because it's dumb, and I feel for you. Shoot, what was I thinking about before we got stuck on the inflammable thing? Antagonists. I don't write... I feel like I don't write good antagonists. I write good antagonists. I don't write good villains. And it's not that I don't write good villains, it's that I don't... Like I said, the whole... What makes a good villain? Like, how do you know? This is in the wrong spot. No, build that there. Build it here. There we go. Better. Because, like, so, for example, Claire is an antagonist, is an enemy, and let me not even say antagonist, she's an enemy turned friend for Arms of the Souls. Because when you first meet Claire, she's trying to kill Anima. She's trying to consume the soul, right? Spoilers. But that, like I said, that makes her an antagonist. And I'm not going to get into, like, Anslu's Souls is the last thing I'm going to try to apply good and evil to. Because that's a mess all on its own, where everyone has gray morality. Jeez, how do I do this again? I've made this blueprint so many times, and every time I sit there down and I think about it, I'm like, how do you do this again? How do you make the bathroom? Every time. I've done it so many times. You think I would know by now, but I don't. I don't. I don't know. Um, research. Oops. Research this. So, hold on. While I'm doing this, let's continue talking. Showers. Okay, so door, shower, 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 shower. Nope, sink. Door goes there. I can't put. Fuck. Hold on. There we go. And like with another story I have, so you can talk about villains all day, right up until it gets to the point of like it's my villain, it's my antagonist. Like I don't know, they're a person doing a thing. That's what it feels like. Okay, hold on. This 615, 780. How much do you take? Food. 60. Oh yeah, that's right. Electric bills are easy. Okay. Thankfully, they are easy, so we're just gonna connect you there. It's the tests are easy. It's the answers that are hard. I think that's how that quote goes. It's such a good quote. I love that for some reason. It's funny to me. Okay. Sink, 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 sink. Bathroom. Laboratory, if you will. It also gets to a point in the game where I start, instead of making the... I'll do it maybe here in a little bit. I start making everything out of granite instead of sandstone, because granite has a higher decor. Hold on, we can leave these open for a little bit while we're building stuff. Because everyone has to go out this way anyway, so... Oh, my coffee's cold. Okay, it's fine. Oh, I didn't build the thing. Hold on. There we go. Shoot. Plumbing. Take this pipe over this way. Take insulated pipe made with granite. No, the insulated pipe with igneous rock. Why would you make it with granite? Okay, hold on. Intake, building intake starts here. Raise upwards to here. Oh, jeez, don't do that. Oh. There we go. And then here. Nope. Can't drag the mouse in a straight line. Output. This way. Shoot, they can't get to these because... Hold on. Open this. I'm sorry I'm being really quiet. I'm just trying to do this real quick. And it takes a lot of my brain power. Because plumbing is annoying. I used to watch my mom play SimCity all the time. And I would listen to her fuss about the plumbing and the electricity, and she's like, why isn't this working? And it's because the electricity didn't get to that section of whatever it was she was doing on that game. And like years later, like I get it. Like it's not the same game, but I get it. Oh my goodness, how are y'all doing? I've been streaming for almost 2 hours, so I'm probably gonna take a break here in a little bit. And then, I don't know how much longer we'll keep streaming. We can switch games though, too. Maybe. Not sure to what, but we could switch games. I'm trying to think of, like, I've kind of spilt myself out on... Because, and then, like I said, this is my issue. It's like, I have antagonists, and well, that's what I have antagonists. I don't feel like I have villains. Or I have villains, but they're larger schemes. They're not like a single person, right? Not really. They're larger entities. Like, how do I say this? I do have one, and I have to be very careful, because I remember talking to a friend about this, and they're like, is this Stockholm Syndrome? I'm like, no, it's not Stockholm Syndrome. I understand why you might think that, but it's not Stockholm Syndrome. I have a story, the one that I want to be, like, if I could properly, showcase it, it would be in the video game format. It would be like a visual novel. So the way the main character of that story, it's still a hatchling. I'm so easily distracted. Damn it. The way that story works in particular is, you have a group, so the main character is a scientist who gets kidnapped by a terrorist group to do a thing for them, right? And I was a little inspired by Metal Gear Solid. I'll admit that. I was a little inspired by Metal Gear Solid, and I'm like, what if this story, but from the perspective of the scientist who got kidnapped, right? The way that story ended up developing, though, was it's not Stockholm Syndrome, but he has a change in perspective, and he starts working with the terrorists. Like, he becomes a part of their group. And I'd say they're terrorists because they technically are, but they're terrorists in the same sense that Avalanche is terrorists. They're eco-terrorists who are trying to, stop a corporation from killing the planet. Right? So there's that. And so again, they're the antagonist, and it doesn't necessarily have villains, but they have antagonists in the form of the government and the government and society, and like one or two specific people who are constantly trying to fight against the terrorist. And that sounds weird out of context, where like your main character, but like again, I've played 7, so I understand the concept of having an eco-terrorist group who aren't the villains, but they are still terrorists. It sounds so weird to say, though, right? You regrettably need to go to sleep soon? Yeah, I'll probably get off here in a bit, then. It was supposed to be a low-key thing, I want to keep playing a video game, so I'll probably just swap to something off-stream. Play more Cult of the Lamb so that we can get back to that maybe tomorrow after your stream. Rest is a weird thing. It really is. Suit wearing. Doctoring. Oh, we take you. Yeah, we take Bubbles. Hello, Bubbles. Bubbles the doctor. I would love to play video game. Oh, no, it's okay. Well, like I said, I plan on streaming basically all week next week, so we will have a variety of things to stream, play together. Maybe we can do some DBD. Now that I know, I'll have to fix it maybe a little bit, but now that I know how that, like, um, the way that works, because Discord counts as desktop audio, so it picks up the desktop audio, maybe. I could also do that for you too. If you ever wanted to stream Dead by Daylight as like a VTuber, like on your thing, I would be happy to like help you. That way you're not solo queuing. We could collab. Streamer collab. Um I would recommend though, if we ever do it, and that we don't stream at the same time, because we have a lot of the same viewers, and so they would be split between us. So like we'll pick a day where you stream Dead by Daylight, and then we'll pick the day when I stream Dead by Daylight, but like not stream necessarily at the same time. Yeah, we should totally do that. The fuck was I doing? Just trying to give people skills and I got sidetracked. It's okay. It's fine. We need more builders. Lyra. Lyra. Oh, I should have. Fuck, I'm an idiot. I wish you could take back the skill. Shoot. It's fine. This is fine. Okay, we're just gonna leave that there for now. Oh, schedule. Bubbles. Bubbles, you come down here, and then the next person will be there, and then we'll have to stop for a little bit. Let me finish the bathroom, probably, and then, or I'll try to finish the bathroom as best I can, and then we will, and then we will do the thing. You need to listen to them fuss. They fuss. They fuss a lot. Okay, hold on. So back to plumbing. But yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say about villains and antagonists. They're fun. I want to get better at writing them. I'm pretty sure I do have other characters that count as villains and better villains. They're just not coming to mind immediately. And like I said, plenty of antagonists. Another issue I have is like a lot of my characters don't have names yet. So it's just like talk about like character A doing thing to character B, and it's just like, well, they're doing it. It's a thing. Shh. Hold on. Output pipe. Right? Output pipe. Okay. And I know I showed you how to do this, but every time my brain's just like, how do you do this again? It's so dumb. I wish I was better at this. Liquid bridge made of igneous rock. Like that. And like that. And that. And then this can connect to... We're not going to directly connect it to this one. What we're going to do instead... Shoot, can I have it do that? Or will it... You know what? It's fine, actually, because that's mesh. That's all mesh. We'll just... We'll make the vent up here, and it will trickle down. But properly, not like scam economics. Okay, build that. And this needs power. And unfortunately, it needs a lot of power. What are we at? 615? Shoot. I'm gonna have to make another... That's my thing with refrigerators. They take so much power. They take so much power. You have to make a whole separate power line to fuel the gosh darn... You make an entire separate power line to fuel the gosh darn refrigerators. Like, why? Oh my goodness. This entire thing is it's always such a mess to make, and it's so hectic. But once you get it done, it's good. It's useful. It's nice. Have either of you watched the live action Ninja Turtles? Either the 1990 versions or the Bayverse? Bayver. Like he didn't even produce, or I can't remember what the fuck. What is it? He produced those movies. He didn't direct them. I can't remember what the fuck it was. But that's typically what they're called, is the Bayverse Ninja Turtle movies. But the ones that came out in like 2014 and 2016. Oh, I don't have an output. I don't have an output. Hold on. Because I found out even recently I own the second one, which I think is hilarious. I didn't realize I owned it. Wait, cancel this. There we go. I didn't even realize I owned the first one. I've never seen the second one, but like my friend and I have like a weird opinion of like those movies. Like they're not bad, but they're definitely like not good, and they're kind of bad. They're entertaining like the first time you watch them, I guess, which is that's a good thing. Like that's okay. Because they're also on Paramount, and I've been kind of meaning to like maybe just sit down and watch the second one because my friend wants me to watch it. Okay. I need y'all to hurry up and finish with the plumbing so that I can try to disconnect things and see if everything's going to be okay, or if I just blew everything up. I have seen one, but I don't remember which. Was hold on. Were they fighting the Shredder, or were they also fighting an alien? If you can remember any of that. Shit. Okay, hold on. So some of this is connected. I'm not sure. Well, that's fair. Was the guy that plays Green Arrow in it? Apparently, that's a thing, which I will never stop laughing about. No, that's a side joke. Oh, and there, wait, it was Casey in it. Was Casey Jones in it? Do you remember that? I guess, if you know who that is. Well, that's not what y'all are supposed to be doing. Why aren't they building this? I hate having to do this. But they leave me no choice. They're forcing me to use horse. Like I said, as soon as I get the bathrooms in, we're cutting stream. I don't like leaving big projects like this half done, which is how I get stuck playing the game for hours on end. That's not an insulated pipe. Fuck my life. I'm an idiot. That's not an insulated pipe. Ah! No. Why have I done this to myself? There we go. Please make that insulated pipe. Oh yeah, and then... Shoot, I have to wait for them to... I'm also... It's fine. Oh goodness. I honestly would love to sit down and watch the 1990 versions again with some of y'all. Those are the good 1990, like 19. Oh shoot, it's like 1990 and 1991, which is just the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and then Secret of the Ooze, and then the 2007 CGI one. Okay, I think everyone's got water. I don't. I forgot to give Layra. I'm an idiot. I forgot to give Layra empty pipe, so we're just going to destroy this pipe. Okay. And send water everywhere when you do that. That's why you empty pipes, because otherwise you will send water everywhere. Okay, and then we're going to destroy all of this. And hope to God our bathrooms are working. Pray to somebody that the bathroom is working. I don't care who, just pray to somebody. Pray to Hades. I don't think Hades is not the person you should be praying to for a bathroom to work. I think it's working. Maybe. Let's close these up. Not that one. Let's close these up. Let's dig this out. Start coming into here. Actually, wait. I'm an idiot. Hold on. Okay, it's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. I figured there'd be slime lung throughout the entirety of everything. There is slime lung all over the place, which is an issue, but we will work on it. Because, like, this is already starting to dissipate. Let's dig this out so we can try to get to that water. Actually, hold on, not like that. Because, like, if you leave the polluted water there, it'll keep putting it on. So that's why you try to get it down in centralized areas, and then you stick deodorizers over it to do the thing. We're gonna leave this here and enable auto harvest. Consumables. Okay, no one eats meat until I say so. No one eats mushrooms until I say so. Okay, that works. How many eggs do we have? We have 5 eggs. Oh, I hate that. We're going to crack all 5 of those eggs. I can't make. Okay. And get back on research. Fridge. There we go. And then... I swear I'll be getting off soon. Just give me like 3 seconds. I really am the worst. Oh my goodness. Okay, so hopefully, I think everything's running okay. Slowly, this pipe will empty out and join the water here. I really need to get on top of the food. That is bad. Took too long doing that. That was silly of me. I know better. They're okay though. We'll be getting more food here. Let me just go ahead and empty this. Deconstruct it. And then what we do is, nope, hold on. Hold on, there we go. We do that. And so we grow bristle blossoms here because this puts off natural light, but it doesn't put off a hot light. And so the bristle blossoms can grow okay-ish there. Oh, look, there's a little sage hatchling. Let him go. Okay, hold on. Sage hatchling. Okay, let me grab him. Wrangle. Okay, and then fudge. Hold on. This is such a weird thing to do because, like I said, it's not a viable replacement for compost. But it is a good way of getting rid of polluted dirt and getting coal out of it. And stick this critter feeder here. It's so sad to see the hatchlings all, like, he's not even oh no, he is kind of upside down, I guess. Okay, but he's being delivered. He's being delivered to a good home. Where he will be fed all the polluted dirt he could never want. Oh, and then I need to... this. It's not necessary, but it helps a little bit. And we're just gonna... it's gonna where the coal is gonna get stored there. Consumable ore. No, not all consumable ore. Just coal. Okay. Bristle blossom seed, coffee. And then we come over here. And we have them make 5 omelets. Okay, things will get better. That's what I've been telling myself a lot lately. Things will get better. So this thing that I dug out, this weird thing... Oh, they can't even... I see. Hold on, just stop that. This thing is an anti-entropy thermonullifier. I don't even know what if those words mean anything. But basically what you do is you pump it full of hydrogen gas and it chills everything around it. Like, a lot. So that will be a thing. Yeah, hold on, I do actually want... I just need to get a better digger to dig through the wolframite, but we'll worry about that later. It seems like, hold on, let me double check our plumbing. Nothing's backed up. And in fact, we can now get rid of all of this. Hold on, deconstruct. There we go. Everything's going, and so the reason why there's no food, that is an issue. That will be an issue for next time, though. The reason why you do this bridge here is because this plumbing thing will prioritize the bridge first. And so it'll send the water through the bridge to the sea first, and then any excess will get pulled down to this. I think. That's how I think it's supposed to work. Yes, see? Like, it's going all to the bridge first. So that it comes here. And then this is full now, so now it goes here. Ta-da! That's why we build it that way. That is a trick I learned from a YouTube channel called Grind This Game. And I don't know if there's a more efficient way to do it, but that's been working for me for a long time since I've, like, now that I play the game a whole bunch. And so that's how I do it. Are pufflets... Hold up. Do pufflet eggs give me a whole... Come on. Do they give me a whole 1,000? They do not. Shoot. Well, never mind then. We just got 3 pufflet eggs, I guess. The problem... So, one of the reasons why when you make eggs, when you do omelets, hatches are the best thing to do. There's a couple other things, but hatches are the best things to do because... So, where is it? This. In order to make an omelet... Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Can't do math, but we'll just do it like that. In order to make an omelet, you need 1,000 grams of raw egg. And so that's why I came over here and I checked. And so the pufflet only gives me 250. And so even if I cracked all 3 of them, I wouldn't have enough. And so like pufflet eggs, nymph eggs, you need a lot of them. Not a lot of them, but you need more of them to make an omelet. Whereas with hatch eggs, you only need 1. Okay, so anyway, there's that. Okay, bathroom seems to be taken care of. We've got more food going. They'll survive. It was just a little scary for a couple of seconds. We have pufflets. I don't have. I don't know. We'll just let the pufflets sit around. There's polluted oxygen all over the place, so they'll figure it out. I have idle tubes. I need to stop. Save. Okay, so anyway, you all have been told the plan. Whether or not you choose to join me for the plan is your decision, of course. But yeah, we'll be streaming throughout the week. We'll be streaming Resident Evil 4 on days when Sushi is not streaming so that we can start earlier. So that's Tuesday and Thursday, and then Saturday, I guess, maybe. I would say for Resident Evil 4, if you've been keeping up, we're more than halfway through the game. We have to go fight Salazar, and then we go to the third part of the game, and then we finish it out. I don't think I'll do it. I could, if I just do it and I don't die a whole bunch, I could probably do it in like 2 or 3 streams. So there's that. Resident Evil 7 and 8 are planned for October for Spooky Month. So there's also that. Oh, but on days that Sushi will be streaming, which is Monday, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll be streaming smaller games like Oxygen Not Included, Have a Nice Death, and Cult of the Lamb. If I Have a Nice Death, I'll stream again, and then we'll do more OC talks. The second option was romantic interest aside from villains, so we'll do that one maybe, unless no one just wants to hear about romantic interest, which I wouldn't blame you. I'm such a weirdo. For someone who is a romantic and B, like, I kind of like cringe and I'm a little squeamish to certain displays of romance in media. I write a lot of romance stories, I guess. Maybe it's probably just because like it's a certain kind of story I want to see, but I don't see it through media very often. So yeah, it's pray for yourself, I guess. So that'll be a thing. The poll is still up on Twitter for the purpose of like voting whichever one. If and then like I said, if romantic interest got higher, then we'll just do it next time. Which we might just do it next time anyway. But I mean, maybe we'll talk more about villains. Maybe I'll actually sit down and try to plot out a thing to talk about during a stream and see if I have antagonists and villains. If I wanted to read your writing, where can I do that? Patreon. Okay, so 2 things. You can do it on Patreon. But of course, it's like a Patreon. You'd have to pledge to me for some of that. I do throw up snippets and free things. For that, you can also. I have fan fiction on AO3. And I have. It's not pinned anymore. Yes, it is. If you go to my pinned tweet, which is about Meggie. And somewhere in that tweet is a connection to a thread, which I keep meaning to post to, but I haven't very often. It was supposed to be an OC-tober, like an October writing thread for OCs, and there are certain snippets for characters in that thread, and like Maggie's in there, and Kago. I was really proud of the one I did for Kago. Kago, Kira, who else is in there? Not Kira, Rem's in there. Rem and Lilith are the 4 I have at the moment. I keep meaning to write more for that, and I will in October. But that thing's like 3 years old. I started that 3 years ago. If you click on my media on Twitter, because what I do is I take screenshots on my phone, and then I post the screenshot as like 4 pictures, so you can read it. So like I'll pull up Google Docs on my phone and I'll take a screenshot of the Google Doc, and then I'll post that as 4 pictures. And so if you go into my media on Twitter, and anything that looks like a block of text is something I've shared with y'all. There is, and it should be free, if you go to my Patreon page, you can read the first part of the first chapter of Anzalu's Souls for free. It should be free. If it's not, let me know, but it should be free. And it's like the first, I don't know how many words. It's like the first couple of paragraphs, and it's not paragraph. How long is that? Hold on. Let me just hop off this real quick. Where is any of that? Hold on. Patreon, there it is. Oh god, am I even logged in? I might not be logged in. I will note that yeah, it should be free. I will note that Anzalu Souls has trigger warnings on it. Or trigger and content warnings. And just about every chapter I will post for Anzalu Souls um will have those warnings. And like they'll even be, and like anything that's a spoiler warning will be like it'll still be there, but it'll be a spoiler warning, and so if you want to look at it just in case, um you can. This should be free. Can I open link a new tab? Sorry, I'm just babbling because I'm trying to remember. Hold on. I can also send you. Okay, hold on. There's that. There it is. Here. Actually, you know what? I'll just retweet this right now. There, and so if you go to my page, it'll be up there. Yeah, I started that back in 2020. Shoot, and it only has four OCs on there. I'll get back to it. I want to get back to it. But that's that for now. So if you wanted to read my writing, that is where you could go and do it. I don't know what is available as free on Patreon, like that I have up for free on Patreon, versus what you need to, because I think the lowest pledge is like $5, and then like the regular pledge I have is like 10. But you're already what I want to do, and what I would hope Patreon would do, would be allow me a way to integrate Twitch and Patreon together, so that way, like, if you pledge to a specific tier for me, I can give you I can give you like a subscription, like I can give you a Twitch subscription, like it's part of the Patreon pledge. As it is right now, though, if and I want to do that, like I said, I want to do this for Cucumber, and a couple other, well, mainly Cucumber, but because they're the one who's been pledged to me, is like I'd have to gift you the sub myself. So, and so because of how gifted subs work, I would be losing money through that. But like, it doesn't matter. I still need to give Cucumber a gifted sub anyway, because they've been so supportive, and they need to give one to Lissa too. Um, but that's for another time. That's for when my finances finally sort their shit out. You know, if you ever get that Discord going, you have rules, at least for Twitch followers, to view Patreon ratings. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And I could post certain that way it can be like, if you're a follower on Twitch, you can go into like a specific channel and view it, right? That's a good idea. I need to ask Julia's help for putting together the server, because I'm never done it before and I'm slowly working my way through it. That's a good idea. Thank you, Lissa. Okay, but I will let you all go instead of continuing to babble. I will see you all tomorrow evening after Sushi's stream. I don't know what we'll be playing yet, but I will see you all tomorrow evening. You all have a good evening. You get some rest, Sushi, and you too, Lissa, when you do. And thank you so much for stopping by. I've got another video game to play because I don't know what to do with myself right now. Maybe I'll write. Maybe I'll play a video game and then I'll write. Been talking about it enough. I need to do it. Bye. Y'all have a good night. See you next time. Thank you again for stopping by. Bye bye.